Chapter 1. The Perception of Paint. Merthiolette looked exactly like the kind of 20-something who survived entirely on iced lattes and thrift store cardigans. With her faded denim jacket, messy brown bun, and a canvas tote bag slung over her shoulder, she blended perfectly into the crowded train station. No one looking at her would guess that the canvas bag currently held a folding space containing 300 ancient grimoires, a centuries-old greenhouse, and a very grumpy immortal cat. After decades of dealing with the high-stakes politics of the provincial coven lands, Merthiolette wanted nothing more than to be aggressively, beautifully boring. She wanted electricity bills. She wanted to complain about traffic. Most of all, she wanted a normal life in the city, far away from prophecies and elemental wars. Leaving the station, she navigated the cracked sidewalks of Oakhaven, a historic but slightly worn-down neighborhood nestled on the city's edge. Her destination was a property she had purchased online for a suspiciously low price, 44 Blackwood Lane. When she arrived, she understood the price tag. The house was a Victorian disaster. The porch sagged like a tired smile, the windows were choked with thick ivy, and the front door was hanging off its hinges. Dust motes danced in the muggy air, and a literal family of raccoons had taken up residence in the rotten rafters. Right across the street, a curtain twitched. An elderly man in a faded track jacket was staring at her, holding a watering can. The neighborhood watch was already on duty. Merthiolette smiled politely and waved. Then she stepped inside the house and closed the broken door as best she could. To completely rebuild a structurally compromised house by hand would take 6 months and tens of thousands of dollars. Merthiolette didn't want to wait, but she also couldn't let the neighbors see a house magically assemble itself in seconds. Taking a deep breath, she tapped into the deep, terrifying well of her magic. She didn't need a wand or an incantation. She simply thought it, and reality bent to accommodate her will. First, she cast a localized perception web over the entire property. To anyone walking past 44 Blackwood Lane, the house would appear shrouded in standard green construction tarp. If they listened closely, they wouldn't hear the hum of cosmic energy. They would hear the generic, annoying sounds of a circular saw, a radio playing classic rock, and the occasional thud of a hammer. With the camouflage secure, Merthiolette snapped her fingers. The air inside the house hummed with a vibrant, glowing pink light. Instantly, the rotten floorboards ripped themselves out of the joists, flying out the back window into a neat, compressed cube of trash. Fresh oak planks, conjured from the ambient moisture and carbon in the air, laid themselves down perfectly, sealing with a smooth, matte finish. The peeling wallpaper stripped itself off in synchronized sheets, revealing clean, structurally sound drywall underneath. The raccoons were gently lifted by an invisible cushion of air and deposited safely into a nearby park, accompanied by a lifetime supply of conjured acorns. Within 10 minutes, the plumbing was entirely replaced with modern copper pipes, the electrical wiring was up to code, and a brand new kitchen with slate gray countertops stood where a collapsed pantry had been. Merthiolette walked through the rooms, letting her fingers trail along the walls, painting them a soft, neutral beige with just a thought. Finally, she opened her tote bag and unlatched the pocket dimension. Her furniture floated out, arranging itself in a cozy, minimalist layout that screamed, "Ordinary citizen." When she was finished, she stepped back onto the front porch and dissolved the perception web. To the outside world, it simply looked like she had spent the afternoon furiously sweeping and putting up a few nice curtains. "Excuse me, young lady?" Merthiolette blinked, turning to see the elderly neighbor from across the street standing at the edge of her yard. He looked bewildered, squinting at the front of the house. Did you hire a crew? I swear I heard drilling, but I didn't see a truck." This was the real test. Merthiolette dialed back her aura, wrapping her immense magical presence in a soft, mundane glamour. It was a spell that projected pure, unthreatening averageness. "Oh, no, just a couple of friends dropped off some supplies early on," Merthiolette lied smoothly, offering a warm, slightly clumsy smile. "I'm Merthiolette. I just moved here from the country. I'm a bit of a DIY fanatic, so I guess I got carried away with the cleaning." The old man blinked, the suspicion melting from his face as the glamour washed over him. To him, she didn't feel like an all-powerful entity. She felt like a harmless, polite young girl who probably needed help lifting heavy boxes. "Ah, well, good for you. I'm Arthur," he said, his tone softening. "This place has been an eyesore for 10 years. Glad to see someone living in it. Let me know if you need to borrow a ladder." "Thank you, Arthur. I appreciate that." she replied. As Arthur walked back to his house, Merthiolette leaned against her newly reinforced porch railing. The glamour had worked perfectly. She was officially just an ordinary girl in an ordinary neighborhood. But as she looked down the street and noticed a flickering, broken street lamp and a young woman crying softly into her phone on a nearby bench, Merthiolette smiled. Keeping a low profile didn't mean she couldn't fix a few things around here.